Hello, Cancer. My name's Ara. This is my channel, Cosmic Vibrations, and I am here to do a general reading for July 2018 for Cancer Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. And so, happy birthday, by the way. And I'm going to start shuffling. I decided to play some music for you so it's not so boring. Okay, hopefully that was pleasant and not annoying. Okay, you've got an interesting reading here, Cancer. I'm probably going to have to end up picking some cards as clarifiers and remedies, though, because it looks kind of complex to me. Okay, I'm going to show you all the cards one by one. Your central experience for the month of July is the Four of Pentacles. Your countering situation with that is the Six of Swords. What's helping you is the Knight of Pentacles. At your core is the Queen of Pentacles. You have quite a few court cards in here. As your recent past, you have the Hanged Man. Your best possible outcome or highest good you can bring or experience is the Princess of Cups. Your near future is the Knight of Wands. You right now are feeling like the Three of Wands. In your surroundings is the King of Swords. Your hopes and fears possibly, but I'm looking at it more as hopes, is the Ten of Pentacles. And your general outcome is the Four of Cups. So let's begin. As your central focus for July, it seems to me as though you've been spending way too much time inside the house, or you have become way too boxed in by obligations, responsibilities, and things you feel you need to upkeep. It could be saying that you need to clean your house really well, or air things out, sweep out the cobwebs, possibly unload a lot of clutter that has gathered inside your home. And if it's not clutter inside your home, it's definitely clutter inside your being or your mind concerning your responsibilities. If you look at it, it's a man seated who is so laden down by his pentacles that he can barely move. Notice he's in a dark, kind of dusty looking room. There's a window with bars across it. I don't know if you can see that. There's some plants outside and it looks nice out there, but there are bars on the window. It's almost as if he's in prison. And pentacles generally represent duties, responsibilities, jobs, career, money, paying the bills. It can also mean beautiful things like planting gardens, creating beautiful works of art, creating structures that are beautiful. But in this case, this always reminds me of someone who is so boxed in with what they perceive their responsibilities or physical upkeep of everything that they've become locked in and stagnant where they can barely move. So to me, this says, also this can mean having too much clutter in your home, having too many possessions, or too many possessions that own you instead of you owning them. You may not even know all of what's in your home. You may discover things while you're cleaning, if you decide to clean, that you didn't even know you had, or you haven't seen in several years. So often this can also mean hanging on, fear of losing what you have so much that you cling to it and you hold on to it, where it's almost like gripping onto things in a suffocating way. So we'll see where this takes us. Your challenge is moving on or conflict resolution. So this speaks of a time when the person in the boat was in a lot of conflict or in a conflicted situation where in the Five of Swords, it's a cruel person. So they could possibly be moving on from a cruel person or a cruel situation or a situation that was painful that never seemed to get any better. And if you notice, he's being guided by an angel who's saying, just keep on going that way and things will get a lot better. So to me, this speaks of a hard time moving on, a hard time letting go or releasing what you are so desperately trying to hang on to. I was hoping for a more positive reading for you guys for the month of July, considering it's your birthday month and the sun is in your sign. But we'll see. So what's helping you is the Knight of Pentacles. Now this is nice. Every intuitive reads cards differently, and also the meanings of the cards can vary depending on what deck you have. In this deck, to me, the Knight of Pentacles speaks of help, of slow, steady progress, of patience, of receiving what you need at its proper time in its own timing. So the Knight of Pentacles is actually ruled by Virgo. Virgo is a compatible sign to Cancer, Cancer is the Divine Mother. Virgo is the Great Healer or the Great Helper. So this says to me, what's helping you is help. You need help. And you may be so boxed in by whatever's going on with you that you're failing to realize that it's okay to ask for help. You may be taking this all on your own without asking for help. And I want to remind you that there is absolutely nothing wrong with asking for help. If anything, it shows to me that you're taking care of yourself and you're knowing what your boundaries are of what you can withstand before you start feeling as though you're in prison. And so if you need help, ask for help. If you are offered help, please accept it. Don't think of asking for help or receiving help as a weakness, because it's not. It's actually a sign of strength. That aside, this also speaks of that things are moving forward and growing slowly but steadily. And so even though it's happening slowly, the reason why it's happening slowly is because it's according to its own best timing in order to have the best possible harvest you can have. So be patient, ask for help if you need it, accept it if it's offered. You don't have to do this all on your own, whatever this is. It looks like a lot of responsibility. And also, if there's a Virgo in your life, or if there's a person in your life that is extremely helpful, extremely considerate, that wants to see you do well and is more than happy to help you. Someone who sees what you're going through and wants to assist you. This person is genuine and you can rely on this person. So this is what's helping you also to do this for yourself as well. At your core is the Queen of Pentacles. Now that's more like it. Yeah. This is a minor court version of, in my mind, the Empress in a way. She's Mother Nature, or she's the human companion of Mother Nature that truly appreciates Mother Nature. This can also be a mother figure or an older female, or somebody who is extremely dependable, kind, and also wants to see you do well, that is more than happy to be there for you if you need a hug, especially if you need a hug, if you need to just unwind and unload on a nice long walk in a flower garden. This lady is the person to do it with. This is someone who loves plants and animals, someone who is very down to earth, someone who is kind, generous, humble. Even though she's a queen, I would say this is probably the most humble queen in my opinion. So this can also be you cultivating this in yourself. You at your core feel like if you are not in this position, you should be in this position. If you know this is also telling you to get outside. You may have been locked into your own mind or your own responsibilities so much you're not getting enough fresh air, or not doing enough outdoor play activities, or spending time with plants and animals enough. If that's the case, then you need to get outside. But this is where you want to be. This is what you long for at your core. If you're not this already, it could be that you're actually a quite fruitful, abundant person, but for whatever reasons, instead of being in the normal position that you enjoy, you're finding yourself in a position where you feel trapped by your own responsibilities. So in your recent past, it looks like things were hung up a little bit. Things were slowing down. At the same time, you may have been getting more intuitions, more visions, more insights than ever before. And it feels like something is gestating in you that you may not even be quite aware of just yet on what this is. It just feels like something's stirring underneath the surface. To me, this almost reminds me of the inner stirrings of a seed before it cracks open and the plant starts to come out of it. Something's about to shift, and this almost feels like that slow period before it shifts. You know how if you hold a pendulum and it's spinning, eventually it's going to stop and spin the other way. Or let's put it this way. If you have a prism in the window and it's on one thing, it'll spin and spin and spin and get faster, and then it will slowly slow down, and then it stops. And then after it stops, it starts to go in the other direction. It's kind of like that. That's what I'm getting from this, is things have been spinning in a particular way for you in your life, in your being, and for whatever reasons, it's that slowing down and stopping motion before it starts to flip in the other direction. So this is your recent past. Maybe things haven't been moving as fast as you would like, but it's the universe's way of letting you know that use the time while you have it. Use the time while you have it to pay attention to what your intuition is trying to tell you, or what dreams you need to receive. To look within instead of without. Also, to go out into nature. Sometimes when we go to places we've never been before, it snaps us out of our normal frame of mind, or our normal way of thinking or seeing things, and all of a sudden we're seeing things differently because we're in a different place. I'm sure a lot of you we can all relate to that, right? I know I can. When you're in a different place, you can almost pretend to be a different person. So that's your recent past. As your best possible outcome, a lot of signs have been getting this so far. You're the first sign so far to not get the Knight of Cups. And actually, I'm surprised. You're the one water sign I've done so far, and there is almost no water in here. There's 2 water cards, and that's it. 3 water cards. Okay, your best possible outcome is you're going to receive an invitation. You're going to receive an opportunity brought to you by your guides. I'm feeling a strong emphasis on dolphins, so if dolphins are one of your favorite animals, this is definitely a message for you. And also, if you're a musician, if you're an artist, if you're a writer or a poet, if you carry a lot of inspiration that wants to be expressed in ways where we feel things deeply without necessarily having to have any order to it, then this is your best possible outcome, is to pick up that guitar again, or to pick up the paintbrushes again, or to randomly decide to go swimming in the ocean in the middle of the night. Whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy and makes you feel free, makes you feel like your inner child is fully alive in your being and you have a twinkle in your eye. You know, the new moon is on the 12th this month in your sign. The sun and the moon will both be in Cancer on the new moon on the 12th. And on that day, if you can, get out of the house. Go someplace really beautiful near water, and I want you to possibly set some intentions on what you would like to see unfold as the moon waxes, because after all, the moon rules you. And this is your moon. This is the most powerful new moon of the year because it's in her own sign. So, I mean, you could do anything. You could make wishes on flower petals and watch them go down the stream. Or you could float in the ocean if you're near the ocean. and envision what you would like to be floating towards. Or you could sing a little song for the fairies off in the woods. But this definitely is your best possible outcome. And when I compare it with your central experience, I know which one I would want to pick. There's no reason to be bogged down with fear of losing what you have or what's meaningful or valuable to you. If it's meant to be with you, it'll stay. And you don't have to clench onto it, whether it's a relationship that you're afraid of losing, or a home you're afraid of losing, or a job you're afraid of losing, or something. You're afraid of losing something so much that you're hanging on to it for dear life, to the point where you don't have any headspace or time or energy to do anything else but that. And if it does have to do with clutter as one of its aspects, I would suggest that you possibly ask a son or a daughter, if you have children, to help you clear stuff out. Or to maybe have a little party where your friends come over and help you clear your stuff out. You definitely need help. I'm getting that strongly. And you need help from someone who's mischievous. Sorry, it's always reversed with the camera. Someone who's playful, mischievous, funny, makes you laugh, does silly things, acts silly. That's what you need most in your life right now. If you have children, take time to cultivate play and silliness with your children. It looks to me like you're taking your responsibilities so seriously that you've forgotten how to play. And keep in mind, this is a general reading, so it's not going to apply for everybody. This is not a specific reading for one person. But for somebody, this is some kind of a message. Play. Pay attention to your divine intelligence. So coming up in the near future, this looks much better, is the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands can be a person. The court cards can always be people, whether it's a princess or a knight or a king or a queen. They can always represent actual people in your life, but they can also represent aspects of yourself. Oftentimes, I've noticed it's both. Sometimes we have a person come along in our life that means a lot to us at that time in order to show us something that we would like to cultivate in ourselves, simply just by being who they are. So, in this case, in your near future, you could have somebody in your life who is very Sagittarian or Jupiterian, and that just means somebody who is extremely generous, funny, boisterous, almost has foot and mouth syndrome, where they just blurt out whatever's on their mind. Someone who loves adventures and hikes and running around to see what happens, who loves conversations that are open-ended, where they can learn new things from people. Someone like that. And knights can oftentimes be people in their 20s or up to their mid-30s. They're not quite kings yet. They're still knights. But the knights are always seeking something. They're always on quests. His quest is for truth. His quest is to find out what's out there. It's a form of curiosity, but also the passion and energy necessary to go after his curiosity, to find out where it'll take him, where he'll go, what he'll find out, what he'll learn. So this can be a person appearing in your life in the near future that shows these qualities and invites you to go with them on some kind of adventure. In which case, if that's the case, then go for it. That's my advice. I think that would be wonderful. And that would be a great way to get you out of the house and to move on from old patterns. If this isn't a person, or even if it is a person, it can also be telling you that you need to cultivate these things in yourself as well. You definitely need to go on some kind of a journey, or some kind of a quest, or to seek the truth within yourself too. If for some reason you are in a situation where you're unable to free yourself from your obligations, you can at least travel in your own mind. You could pick up an amazing cookbook filled with pictures from the Mediterranean, where you can imagine you're in the Mediterranean eating amazing food on a balcony overlooking the ocean. Things like that. But I would advise you above all else to get out there and have adventures. There may be some kind of truth you need to receive before you can fully move on. There may be some things that you aren't quite aware of yet. So, you right now are the Three of Wands, which says you're waiting for some kind of a response back. You've put something out there and you're waiting for an answer. It doesn't look bad to me at all. It looks to me like you are going to get some kind of an answer, and it's probably going to be a good one. You're definitely feeling the longing for branching out, exploring things in the world, in your life, around you. If you're one of many of us that lives in a beautiful area where there are multitudes of amazing places you could go, oftentimes we don't really go to those places unless we have family members visiting. If you live in an area where you should have visited a particular beautiful place multitudes of times, but you've only been there once, you should probably go there again, and a lot. This, to me, I'm getting something about a ferry ride to an island, or you're longing for something that's far away. It could be a person you're waiting to hear from that lives far away from you that you miss. This can be waiting for a response on an opportunity that could possibly give you cause for travel. But in any case, you're definitely wanting to expand on what you're doing in your life, actively speaking, on what you're actually doing. So in your surroundings, you have the King of Swords. This is another court card. This could be a person in your surroundings. This could be a person in your surroundings that's very strict, that can sometimes be judgmental, that, you know those people that sometimes get so caught up in what they believe in or what their own personal practice is that they feel like everyone should do it, and if they see other people not doing it, they think badly of those people, or not badly of them, just disapproving of those people. If there's someone in your life like that, please stay away from them, or just simply tell them that you understand that that's their way, but that's not your way. Because I'm definitely getting the feeling that this person, if it is a person, is one of the main factors in you feeling trapped. Because let's face it, this is your position of your surroundings. And look what kind of surroundings this guy is in. That doesn't look like a good surroundings. That looks like this guy is being a little bit too tyrannical almost, or just you're afraid of being criticized. You're afraid of being judged if you don't do certain things in certain ways. So that's just one thing, one aspect of this that I'm getting. This doesn't have to be the end-all meaning of this position in this card here. It can also be saying you need to make some major decisions about your surroundings. Whatever you're surrounding yourself with, it doesn't look fun. It doesn't look joyful. It doesn't look happy. It doesn't look like there's plenty of room for you to grow creatively, or for your inner child to even really feel understood or safe. So you need to make some major decisions on, do I really want this around me? Is there any things I need to do or decide in order to switch things up where I don't have to deal with this anymore? Okay. As your hopes you're hoping for true family, true spiritual family. And this can be your actual blood family. It can also be spirit family, dear friends, dear people that you know that feel like family. And this is community. This is people celebrating their fruitful harvest from their labors with each other. And because they share their fruits together, they actually have so much more together than they would on their own. And so this is what you truly hope for. I feel like maybe you're too alone. You feel too alone, or you feel misunderstood, or you're just locked in some kind of surroundings where you're not surrounded by like-minded people. And maybe that's why your challenge is to move on, because I know how you Cancers are about your homes and about it not being easy to just leave a location and start a new home or start a new group of friends or start a new community even, because you're the mothers of the people around you. But I am getting that your challenge is, even though you want to move on, you're having a hard time doing that because of emotional responsibilities or physical responsibilities. But I'm getting that if you keep that up, you're definitely going to have some health problems. Or you just have been too stagnant and too alone in your own home because maybe you're too shy. But this is saying you need to find your people. And the best way to do that is to go on adventures. And also, if a dear person comes into your dusty, cluttered home and says, please, please come with me to this family reunion I'm going to, or please come to me to this social event that's happening downtown where people are sharing food together. Please go with them, even though it may be scary because it's outside of your normal stagnant routine you've got going on. This reading feels really specific for somebody. So, okay. As your general outcome, you have the Four of Cups, and I am definitely going to pick a remedy card for this. So the Four of Cups, there's good and not so good points to this card. It's both in one. So one of the good points, well, okay, let me tell you the story first. If you look at her, she has 3 cups in front of her, and she has 1 cup up in the clouds above her, which is her daydreaming. This is her daydreaming in a garden. And she's looking at what exists in her life. And keep in mind, this doesn't have to be a her. You don't have to be a her. You can be a guy too. This is just how I'm interpreting it, because in this picture, it's a woman. So she's looking at her existing cups, what she actually has in existence around her, and she's looking at it saying, you know, even though what I've got going on right now isn't bad, it's not hurting me, it's not bad for me, it's just not necessarily fulfilling me. I feel bored, I feel apathetic, I feel like I just want more than what I've got. The good side to this card says, by daydreaming, by spending time visualizing, if you could have anything, what would it be? Then that's how you find out what you want. But if you continue to sit around wishing for something that you don't have, and wishing and feeling sorry for yourself, that's what I want to say, or feeling discontented, but you don't actually get out of that chair and do something about getting that 1 cup you do want, then you're just enabling yourself. You're being lazy. I'm so sorry. I sound cruel right now. I love you guys. I really do. I have an extreme soft spot for Cancers. I love all the signs. I value all of the signs. I appreciate all of them, but there's definitely the water signs I have a special affinity for. I do have a Scorpio moon after all. So I love you so much, and I'm not saying that you're lazy or that you're boring or you're just whining, but that is what this card means. But the good advice of this card is, once you daydream and figure out what you do want, if you get up out of that chair and you say, okay, that's it, I'm going to go get that cup. That's what this is all about. This is why you have these moments. That's how you know you want something else, is by being discontented with what you have. So if we compare your two outcome cards, they're both cup cards. They both have to do with your emotions. One is your general outcome, which is what's going to happen if you don't follow the path of your best possible outcome. Because you see, the reason why there's two outcome cards and why one is called your general outcome and one is called your best possible outcome is because everyone has a choice to make effort or not. When you make effort towards your best possible outcome, it's more likely to actually happen, and it can very well happen. It is your best possible outcome. But if you don't try, if you don't do that extra little energy oomph in that direction of your best possible outcome, then your general outcome is just going to happen no matter what. So in this case, this is very obvious to me. This is saying, if you don't take the effort or that extra little push to go towards what would truly make you feel happy, joyful, and alive in your life, and to cultivate and accept invitations that come your way, then you're going to end up staying in this spot. And this is another 4. Your central experience is the 4 of Pentacles, and your general outcome is the 4 of Cups. And so, if you look at both these cards, they're pretty stagnant, huh? This one is being stagnant in the emotions of, oh, I wish I had something better. Oh, I wish my life wasn't so boring. Oh, I'm just going to keep on sitting here in my garden feeling sorry for myself. And this is feeling so stagnant with your responsibilities, duties, things you have to do, things you have to upkeep, things you have to pay for, things you have to maintain, that neither one of these two people is happy. They feel totally unfed and stuck in their lives. So, as far as remedies, if you do have lots of clutter in your home, even if it's too overwhelming to try to think about starting in on it, get some help. Whether you've got nephews or nieces or children or dear friends or students or partners or whoever, ask for help and say, hey, can you please help me figure out what to do with all this clutter in my house? Energetically, it's blocking you up. If it's not clutter in your house, then things have become so stagnant with you doing the same routine over and over and over without having adventures or putting yourself in situations that might make you feel slightly uncomfortable, but after you go home afterwards, you'll realize that you're smiling more, that you had an interesting conversation with someone that broadened your mind about something, that you got some good advice about something that you needed advice on, or you just simply had a good time, even though you might be a little shy or something. Definitely ask for help. And if it's offered to you, or if fun things are offered to you, go with it. Yeah. And if by any chance you are single and some out of the ordinary kind of kooky, silly person asks for you to go with them to do something fun, please accept it. And if you are in a partnership, it could be even that not just have you become stagnant, but if you have a partner, your partner has become stagnant, and that's actually affecting your home and your surroundings so much that it's leaking out on you. But either way, you just need to exercise freedom and pay attention to your heart and express yourself and get yourself out of your rut. So hopefully that made sense. That was, to me, that was completely random. I love you and happy birthday.